Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Royal Ascot here on Tuesday. It is the 15th of June 2021. We're going to look at all the races here on day one of the Royal meeting, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and remember to join me throughout the week for some more Ascot previews. But it's day one of the Royal meeting, and it's a good card, so we're going to look at all 7 races. Let's get to it right now, starting off with the first race, the 2:30, which is the feature. It's the feature of the day, the traditional kickoff of Royal Ascot. It is the Group 1 Queen Anne Stakes. It's a Group 1 event for Class 1 horses going for a purse of $548,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 11 horses going 1,600 meters or 1 mile down the straight mile course here at Ascot. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the 10 horse Sir Busker. We'll go 10-6-4 in the TriCash trifecta. 10-6-4 TriCash trifecta. Top selection 10 horse Sir Busker. 5-year-old gelded by Sir Prancelot. Ovchin Murphy gets the mount on this one for William Knight. The horse is most recent came 24th of May in Paris at Longchamp. Soft ground, 1 mile on listed stakes, and the horse finished 4th by 4 lengths. He's just run a little bit too wide. He got a little bit of a turn of foot, but it wasn't anything spectacular. Come to Ascot, where he's run very well in the past on very fast ground, which I think he's really been dying out for. I think he's sitting on a very good run. 2 back in his seasonal reappearance on the 28th of April here at Ascot, 1 mile on listed stakes. He finished 3rd by a length. The winner, This Is Us, just really freaked that day. He's having a great season. This horse, he probably needed the race off the break. He just kind of plodded along, needed that extra turn of foot. It wasn't the world's worst race for him. And then before that, in the Group 1 Queen Elizabeth Stakes here at Ascot on Champions Day last October, 1 mile of very sludgy going. He finished 4th by 3 3/4 lengths. Definitely outran at 66-1 odds that day. Definitely ran on ground he hated, but he still got a great turn of foot, and there was nothing bad about that race there. And then, but before that, he ran a crap race at Newmarket, 1 mile and the 8th in a Class 2 handicap, and finished 18th by 14 lengths, and just never really getting into it. But before that, he had a very nice place in the Celebration Mile at Goodwood. He's coming back to Ascot, like I said, where he's run very well in the past. Off 2 starts so far this season, back to fast ground. At 21 to run on the stand side, I think he's very loaded, so we'll use him here. You can throw out the 6 horse Pals Pierre, this 4-year-old colt by Kingman. He's been pretty perfect, but that one race where he lost was here locally. That came in the QE2 Cup last October on very demanding ground. He finished 3rd by 3 3/4 lengths there, and he lost a shoe also during the running. But his wheels were spinning. He just never got into it. Also off the bench, he was running there. But so far this season, he's been doing everything right. In the Bet 365 mile, 1 by 8, went on to win the lock-in very easily. It's going to be his biggest challenge here today, but he can win on ability. But that Ascot race last October does scare me a little bit. Let's just hopefully blame it on the shoe. But I do think Sir Busker's on the up and up too, and I think he can get the job done. But like I said, Pals Pier, we'll use him in the play spot. But to recount my selection for the opener, the 2:30 from Ascot, it is the Group 1 Queen Anne Stakes. Let's take the 10 horse Sir Busker, give kudos to the 6 horse Pals Pier, 10-6-4 TriCash trifecta, 10-6 in the place pot. Let's get to race number 2. The 3:05, the second race from Ascot, it is the Group 2 Coventry Stakes. It's a Group 2 event for Class 1 horses going for a purse of $137,000. Race for 2-year-olds only. 17 horses are going 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the Ascot turf course. I'm going to take the 2 horse, the Acropolis, as a top selection. We'll go 12-17 in the forecast exacta. 12-17 forecast exacta. Top selection to 12 horse, the Acropolis. Coolmore owned. Ian O'Brien trains. Ryan Moore gets on this 2-year-old colt by Churchill. The horse's most recent outing came in Ireland on the 6th of June at Lismore. 6 furlongs in a maiden race, and it took him 2 starts to break the maiden, but he finally got the job started in start number 2. God, can't speak. He won by 3.5 lengths there, and he had a very easy race. He stalked, slowly moved his way up, even with a high weight of 133 pounds. He just went away with it. A very good run. Come with a quick turnaround, 3rd race under his belt on faster ground. I think he's sitting on a very good run, and from a mid-pack position with a pace meltdown, I think this race is suiting up for him. 2 back here at the Cur on the 22nd of May, 6 furlong soft ground in maiden race, and he finished 4th by 5 lengths. Drawn on the stand side, very lackadaisical. He never really got into it until very late in the run. A little green. I think he needed the race for experience. With the next race at Lismore, he really improved. Now with 3rd race here at Ascot today, I think he's going to improve a lot. Getting Ryan Moore back up. 6-1. Let's give him a shot. Your second likeliest winner is the 17 horse Coffee Maker. This tearfully by Jimmy Creed. Wesley Ward trains. John Velazquez gets the mount. It's only started once, but that came on the 15th of April at Keelan on the dirt. 4.5 furlongs in main special weight, and the horse won that day very easily by 6 1/4 lengths. Basically had a starting position out of the gate, broke well, quickened up nicely when he got to the lead, and just kept going. An all-around good race. The big thing with these Wesley Ward horses, especially today, with the very fast ground, will be how long will the speed go. Wesley Ward early on in the 2-year-old season has these horses cranked to go, so they're just going to play catch me if you can. It wouldn't surprise me if this horse goes wire to wire. Training on the turf very nicely at Keelan. Most recent workout, 4 furlongs and 48 and 3, the 8th best workout of 11, and a quick workout the week prior, 4 furlongs and 47 and 4, the best workout of 10. So he's really been fast, training well since the last race. Like I said, I think he's a very quick horse. He's drawn on the inside, and they're going to play catch me if you can. But I think let's see how far his pace can go. I think, like I said, the Acropolis. I think from his starting position, I think Coffee Maker is going to make it a little bit easier for him. So, but he can. It wouldn't surprise me if the Coffee Maker wins on the front and all round. We'll use him on the ticket. But to recount my selection for the second, the 305 from Ascot, it is the Group 2 Coventry Stakes. Let's take the 12 horse, the Acropolis. Give kudos to the 17 Coffee Maker, 12, 17 in the forecast exacta. Use them both in the place pot. Let's get to the third. The 340, the third race from Ascot. It is the Group 1 King's Stand Stakes. It's a Group 1 event for Class 1 horses going for a purse of $479,500. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have 16 horses going 1,000 meters or dashing 5 furlongs on the turf course. Don't blink because you might miss this race. I'm going to take the 2-horse Batoche as a top selection. We'll go 211.5 in the forecast exacta, or excuse me, 211.5 in the TriCash trifecta. 211.5 TriCash trifecta. Top selection 2-horse Batoche, 7-year-old given by Dark Angel. Jim Crowley's on this one for Charlie Hills. The horse's most recent outing came during the Ebor meeting at York last August, 21st to be exact there. 5 furlongs in the Group 1 Nunthorpe, and the horseman by length. It wasn't the world's toughest Nunthorpe in 2020, but this horse had a dream trip from a track position, quickened up nicely, and at 50 cents a dollar, won very easily. Coming here off the bench shouldn't be a problem. He won this race easy last year off the bench on wetter grounds. I think he's sitting on a very good run here today. 2 back, he ran in the King George Qatar Stakes at Goodwood, 5 furlongs July the 31st, and he won by 2 1/4 lengths, and again, 29 cents a dollar. He just won for fun that day, facing very lesser quality horses, coming home in course record time, 55 flat. That was a very good run there. And then prior to that, at last year's Royal Ascot, 5 furlongs in the King's Stand on quite softer ground than he's facing today. A lot softer ground, completely different side of the spectrum. He won by 2 1/4 lengths, and it took him a little bit of time to get going, but he got the job done under the drive. A very good run there. Coming here to the 7-year-old campaign shouldn't be a problem. Drawn on the stand side, 9-5. It wouldn't surprise me if he wins this here today. It also wouldn't surprise me if the 11 horse wins keep busy. Ryan Moore's on this one for John Quinn. 4-year-old followed by Night of Thunder. Most recently, they ran the horse in the Temple Stakes at Haydock a few weeks ago on the 22nd of May, where he finished 5th by 2.5 lengths, and he just needed that extra turn of foot. Was a little lackadaisical. Off the bench, needed the race. Coming here second off the bench on a little quicker ground, I think he's sitting on a very good run. If he could run the race like he ran the Flying 5 last year at the Kerr, the horse could definitely win the race, where the horse placed behind Glass Slippers there at the Kerr, where the horse was really mowing him down late. Nothing bad about the run. He ran a very respectable 5th after that in the Alabama long jump on Arc weekend, on Arc Day, excuse me. He's run these sneaky good races on a little bit quicker ground. It wouldn't surprise me at 20-1 if this horse upsets here, and it also wouldn't surprise me if the King's Lynn for the Queen gets a good trip. Has been really consistent, but is going to have a very massive step up in class. But this horse does have some speed on the stand side. 20-1, we'll use him in the place pot to blow it up, but the other two have a logical chance before this one. But to recount my selection for the third, the 340 from Ascot, it is the Group 1 King's Stand. Let's take the 2-horse Batoche. We'll give kudos to the 11-horse Keep Busy, and also the 5-horse King's Lynn. 211.5 TriCash trifecta. Like I said, use all 3 of them in your place pots. So let's get to the fourth. The fourth race, the 420 from Ascot, it is the Group 1 St. James Palace Stakes. It's a Group 1 event for Class 1 horses going for a purse $479,500, race for 3-year-olds only. 13 horses, a baker's dozen, are going around the course, distance of ground of 1,600 meters or 1 mile on the round mile here at Ascot. I'm going to take the 1-horse Battleground as a top selection. We'll go 157 in the TriCash trifecta. 157 TriCash trifecta, top selection, 1-horse Battleground, 3-year-old colt by Warfront, Ryan Moore gets them out for Aidan O'Brien. The horse's most recent outing came at Newmarket the 1st of May, 1 mile in the group, won 2,000 guineas. As the 4.5 to 1 lukewarm favorite, he did not run. He finished after 6 that day, couldn't, finish the last two, finishing 13th by 20 lengths. Desperately need the race. Coming here, a little quicker ground. Second off the bench, a lot fresher horse. I think he's sitting on a very good run. Two back here on a Keelan, the 6th November, 1 mile good ground in the group and the Grade 1 Breeze Cup Juvenile Turf, and he finished second by 3 lengths. Fire Will just had the will to win that day, but this horse, he just kind of stalked all the way around. A little bit a good turn of foot. If he wasn't a little bit wide, he probably would have won. But still, nothing bad about that run. And then prior to that, he ran 20th of July at Goodwood, 7 furlongs in the Group 2 Vintage Stakes, winning by 2 lengths. Again, he had a dream tracking position, quickened up nicely, an all-around good race. And then last year at the Royal Ascot in the Listed Stakes over the 7, he won by 2.5 lengths, a very good run. He's already won here. He's going to see faster ground again around the turn at 6 to 1. Let's use him. Your second likeliest winner is the 5-horse La Barossa, this 3-year colt by Lupe de Vega, who's his offspring is having a great season. James Doyle gets on this one for Godolphin and Charlie Appleby. Most recently, they ran the horse in the Irish 2000, where he finished 6 by 8 lengths and just had nothing on soft ground. This horse goes up a lot more on the firm ground, like he saw 2 starts back at Newmarket during Craven, where he placed behind Master of Seas that day. And again, he just needed that extra turn of foot, but there's nothing bad about that race. And then before then, the Criterium de International Saint Cloud, on very heavy ground, he finished 5th by 6.5 lengths. Like I said, just it's not like that sloppy stuff, but when he sees quick ground, he really shows form like he did at Newmarket before that, and the Tatterstalls, where he won by length. He's stepping up in a little bit of class, but I think with the quick ground and drawn well, at 15 to 1, he can get the job done, so we'll definitely use him in the place pod. So to recount my selection for the 4th, the 420 from Ascot, it is the Group 1 St. James Palace. Let's take the 1-horse Battleground and give kudos to the 5-horse La Barossa. 157, Tri-Cash Trifecta. 1-5 in your place pod to race number 5. The 5 o'clock, the 5th race from Ascot, it is the Ascot Stakes. It's a Class 2 handicap going for a purse of $89,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards, horses rated 0 to 100. We have a field of 20 horses entered to go the distance of ground of 4,000 meters or 2.5 miles on the Ascot Turf Course. I'm going to take the number 9 horse here, Trumpet Man, as a top selection. We'll go 919 in the Forecast Exacta. 919 Forecast Exacta, top selection 9 horse Trumpet Man. 4-year-old gelded by Golden Horn. Franny Norton's on this one for Mark Johnston. The horse's most recent outing came the 7th of May at Chester, yielding ground 2 miles to rates in the Chester Cup, a Class 2 handicap there, and the horse finished 5th by 3.25 lengths. If he wasn't drawn stupidly wide that day, he probably would have got a better position, but he was drawn 12 of 15, never really got over well on a very tight course, and I think it just cost him. He just needed that extra turn of foot. Coming here, a longer trip, drawn a lot better on a galloping track, which I think should suit him well. I think he's sitting on a lot better run. 2 back at Musselburgh, 3rd of April, mile 3/4 on a Class 2 handicap. First off the bench, he finished 6 by 4.75 lengths. Again, drawn a little bit too wide, and off the bench, I think he needed the race there. He just never really got into it. And then prior to that, his final race 2020, 7th of November to be exact, of 2020 at Challenger, at a mile 3/4 on a Class 2 handicap. Finished 2nd by 3 lengths. He only had one other rival. He just kind of plodded along. The winner just ran that better race than him. But before that, he was winning everything staying. Won at Haydock on very heavy ground over the 2 in a Class 4. Before that, Newcastle, 2 miles in a Class 4, winning by 3.75 lengths. A very nice victory there. And then won easily at Nottingham over the 2 before that on fast ground. Like I said, he hasn't run so bad this season. I think with a better poster on a galloping track, which suit him well. At 12 to 1, I think he's loaded, so let's use him. Don't throw out the 19-horse Golden Rules for Frankie Dettori and John and Thaddy Gosden. This 4-year-old gelded by Golden Horn. He's run decent races in the past, and I think he's been crying out for a little bit longer trip. Now, will he want the 2.5 miles? I know he wants 2, I think, but 2.5 might be just a little bit too long, but he wants something longer. I'm going to give him a shot here today. Most recently at Newmarket over the mile 3/4, he finished 4th by 6 lengths, and he never weakened out of it, never quickened up. I thought he was plodding along decently there, and then over Wolverhampton before that in April, he finished 2nd by nose. He was all out. He just missed late, but there was nothing bad about that race, especially off the bench. He ran a very good place here in October last year over the 1.5 miles. We'll give him a shot also, 15 to 1. Like I said, he wants to stay, but does he want to stay 2.5 miles? We're going to figure out in this race. So to recap my selection for the 5th, the 5 o'clock from Ascot, the Ascot Stakes. Let's take the 9-horse Trumpet Man. We'll give kudos to the 19-horse Golden Rules. 919 in your Forecast Exacta, and use them both in your place pots. Let's get to the 6th. The 535, the sixth race from Ascot, it is the Wolferton Stakes. It's a listed stakes for Class 1 horses going for a purse of $103,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a Group 1 or Group 2 pattern race after August of 2020. We have a field of 14 horses going 2,000 meters or a mile and a quarter here in the Wolferton. My top selection, I'm going to go take the number 10 horse here, Foxtel. We'll go 10-4-2 in the tri-cash trifecta. 10-4-2 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection, 10 horse Foxtel. This 5-year-old gelding by See the Stars. Sylvester DeSouza is on this one for Andrew Balding. The horse's most recent outing came 27th of May at Sandown, a mile and a quarter in Group 3 Redigier Girard Stakes. Pardon me, finished third by 5 1/4 lengths, and he improved with the blinkers that day. He was closing up well late. He plodded along. He concentrated on the run. I didn't think it was a half bad race. Definitely improving off his 4-year-old campaign. Two back, his four-year-old debut at Chester, a mile and a quarter in Class 2 handicap, finished second by neck, and he really jumped a bunch of speed figures that day. He stalked all the way around the race course. Great turn of foot. He just missed late, but there was nothing bad about that race. The winner just had a lot less weight than him that got the jump on him. But this horse really outran his odds that day, and really ran well with the headgear. Nothing bad about that race. Before that, he ran without the headgear in the Group 3 September 6th at Kempton, mile and a half on the poly track in early September, where he finished 6th by 19 lengths, and he was going to catch an Able that day, and he just was facing a little bit too tough horses. Also, over the mile and a half, just a little bit too long for him there. And then a Haydock last August, mile and a quarter, and the Rose of Lancaster. He finished 5th by 4.5 lengths, and again, he just kind of plodded along, never really concentrating on the run. And you could say the same for the race before at Newbury, but since the headgear has gone on, he's really become a lot better horse, and I think he's sitting on a very good run. 15-1, let's use him. Don't throw out the 4-horse Solid Stone. Ryan Moore's on this one for Ryan Moore's on this one for Sir Michael Stout. Most recently, they ran the horse at Windsor in May in a listed stakes over the mile, where he won by 2.5 lengths and won very, very easily. Before that, he desperately needed the race here at Ascot in a listed stakes in April. Over the mile, finished 5th by 1 3/4 lengths. Oh, this is, like I said, freak that day. Won nicely. This horse just kind of plugged along. I think he's been crying out for the mile and a quarter. Getting it today. Back to Ascot, where he's always run these good races in the past. 9-2. Wouldn't surprise me if he wins. A definite horse using your play spot. This Wolferton looks very exciting this year, so hopefully you make some good wagers here. But to recap my selection for the 6th, with the 535, it is the Wolferton Stakes. Let's take as a top selection the 10-horse Foxtel. Give kudos to the 4-horse Solid Stone. 10-4-2, Tri-Cast Trifecta. 10-4 in your play spot. Let's get to the nightcap, the 7th race. The 7th race, the 6:10 from Ascot. It is the Copper Horse Stakes. It's Class 2 handicap, going for a purse of $89,000. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. Horses rated 0 to 105. We have a field of 19 horses entered. 17 through 19 are also eligible, so only 16 will go 2,800 meters or a mile 3/4 on the Ascot turf course. I'm going to take the 8-horse Throne Hall as a top selection. We'll go 8-6 in the Forecast Exacta. 8-6 Forecast Exacta. Top selection 8-horse Throne Hall. 4-year-old gelding by Kingman. Andrea Tazzini's on this one for Kevin Ryan. The horse's most recent outing came 12th of May at York, a mile and a half yielding ground Class 2 handicap, and the horse finished third by 3 3/4 lengths there. And he needed that extra turn of foot, but he kind of plodded along decently. Nothing bad about that race. Getting the extra 2 should really be in his wheelhouse, and I think he's sitting on a very good run. He looks like he could be a good galloper and stayer. 2 back at Thirsk, 17th of April, a mile and a half in a Class 3 handicap. Finished second by 3/4 length. He had a dream trip from a track position. Slowly moved his way up. The winner just had a little bit less weight, 11 less pounds than him, which had the jump on him. But this horse still ran his heart out there. And then before that, Doncaster, mile and a quarter in a Class 3 handicap, a race he just freaked, winning by 1 3/4 lengths, drawn very wide off the bench, off a trip. Probably didn't really appreciate a mile and a quarter, but he still got the job done. A very good race. And then his final start 2020 at Beverly, soft ground, a mile and a quarter in a Class 2 handicap, carrying no weight, 115 pounds. He finished second by a neck, and again, he stayed the trip well. I think he's been crying out for a longer trip. He's going to get it today. At 8-1, let's use him on the ticket, along with the 6-horse Sleeping Line. Kieran Schumacher's on this one for Roger Carlton. Most recently in April, Kempton, 2 miles in a Class 2 handicap. He won by a neck. Okay, facing lesser quantity horses, but he stayed the trip well there. And then his race before that at Doncaster over the State Ledger trip, he finished 8th by 13 lengths there, and he just kind of hit the wall on the little bit of a wet ground. But he always runs these decent races locally. Come back in trip to a mile 3/4, more in his wheelhouse. Second off the bench, 10-1 will use him, but I am more partial to the other horse. I think he has a better chance of winning, but he can win on paper, so we'll use him in the place pond. But to recap my selection for the 610, the nightcap from Ascot, the 7th race, it is the Copper Stakes. Let's take the 8-horse Throne Hall, give kudos to the 6-horse Sleeping Lying, 8-6 Forecast Exacte, use 8 and 6 both in your place pod. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5, and join me throughout the week for some more Royal Ascot previews. Good luck, everybody.